The murder of Fort Hare student Nosicelo Mtebeni has once again put gender-based violence in the spotlight. A report released by the outgoing Western Cape Police Ombudsman paints a bleak picture of how police are handling GBV cases in the province. It's revealed most victims were either not interviewed in private or were not informed of support services. Well, Monique Mortlock is taking a closer look at these findings. Good afternoon, Monique. Just the idea that of this report and that victims are not even interviewed in private makes me just want to pull my hair. So clearly there are serious issues regarding how police are handling victims of GBV cases in the province. What have you found this report to say?
Now, it needs to be mentioned that this is just an update of an ongoing investigation by the Western Cape Police Ombudsman. This update was issued earlier this week by the Community Safety MEC's office. MEC Albert Fritz requested that this investigation be made in April 2021, and this investigation looks at the way the SAPS handles cases of gender-based violence. And so far what this ongoing investigation has found is that from the sample of police stations and victims that were interviewed or looked at, from the sample, 80% of victims were not interviewed in private by police officers when they went to go open cases at police stations. About 60% of victims weren't informed about support services that are available to them. So all of these inefficiencies have come out so far. I have requested from the Community Safety Department just exactly how many police stations have been looked have this investigation covered, because obviously this will give a clearer idea of say for example they looked at 20 police stations and found that of this 20 police station of these 20 police stations, about 60 or 70% were found to have these inefficiencies. But they did say because this investigation is still ongoing and a final report will be issued in the coming months, that they were unable to give just a clear idea of which police stations have been looked at because this investigation is still ongoing. And this report is also interlinked to a similar investigation that was done last year and was concluded in September, when NGO Bafazi Betu, they filed a complaint with the police ombudsman into inefficiencies at some police stations when it comes to the victim empowerment program. And what this report or this investigation found, and it highlighted large inefficiencies similar to what this new investigation that was started in April is finding. And even though this is just a snapshot that we've been getting, it is highly concerning. And a little earlier when I spoke to the DA's Western Cape Community Safety Chair, Regan Allen, he mentioned that this report ties in with what they found last year, September, in that the police's victim empowerment program is lacking in not only resources, but SAPS in general is lacking when it comes to the training of police officers to deal with the most vulnerable in society, and those are our victims of gender-based violence who come to these police stations to get help. Now, where I am right now is in Philippi, where I'm speaking to some of these victims anonymously because they obviously fear for their safety. And what I've heard from one mother and daughter is just their nearly more than a decade-long struggle when it comes to living in an abusive home and struggling to open cases that stick when it comes to the mom's abusive partner and her daughter's abusive father. And just last week, the daughter was telling me that she's pregnant and her father attempted to assault her. And when she called the police, although they responded quite quickly, the police officers asked her, but why did you call us out for this? And she was met with this flippant disregard of her situation. And even though she said, she tried to explain to them, but I'm in danger, my dad is being abusive, they didn't help her. I asked her if they explained to her the support services that are available for her in the area, and she said they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't even help her to open a case or offer her some sort of protection. So these officers arrived, and they, just as quickly as they arrived, they then left her in the same position, and the only thing that they did was give her dad a warning, but that was it. They then left her in that position, and it's cases like these that this report is shedding light on.
Okay. I see that. Just very quickly, just to wrap though, does this preliminary report also talk about how the police are conducting investigations and even maybe getting arrests of the perpetrators of this GBV violence?
Yes, so it's an all-encompassing report, but specifically looking at how the police handles those GBV cases. And this snapshot that we've been getting is just for now how the victims themselves on the ground, how the victims are being dealt with. And I'm sure that in the coming months, when that final report hits us, we'll also be able to see just that prosecution rate, whether the cases that do eventually make it to court, what it looks like, because this is obviously one of the things that groups like Philisa Bafazi, Betu are trying to push for, not only for perpetrators to be arrested, but for them to stay in prison and to remain
and for justice
away
to be served
from their victims.